Something about me is I like to look at both sides of every issue. With that said, in my last video about Mel Kiper's draft misses, I went over all the different positions that he's gotten wrong. A lot of critiques in the comments were saying that I should just evaluate quarterbacks since that is exactly what he was complaining about. So that's exactly what I'm doing today. This is something I want to do on the channel all the time. Whenever I get a good comment that's really thought-provoking, obviously the ones that like, you're an idiot, obviously I'm an idiot. I'm putting my opinions out there on the internet with my face showing. How much more idiotic could I be? But if there's a good comment such as pointing out a different perspective or something like that, I want to do these follow-up videos acknowledging those points. So make sure you leave those good comments down there. Before we get too much further though, I just want to thank every single one of you who has already subscribed. I am just in disbelief at this point. We have 600 subscribers here to this channel. That is amazing, everyone. I want to thank every single one of you who has already subscribed. And if you feel that I've earned it today, please feel free to subscribe as well. Turn on that bell notification, leave a like and comment down on the video and let me know what you think. I just want to make it clear because a lot of comments were defending Mel, and that's perfectly fine. Everyone has their right to defend Mel Kiper. I am not here just roasting Mel to roast Mel. This is more just about his rant, which I think I've established in past videos. I do think Mel does good things, such as evaluating so many players, but I think he gets caught up in his own head, which led to this outburst, which led to these videos just because I don't think you should throw stones in glass houses. In this list, there may be some players missing. If you want to check out my other video, there are a couple more quarterbacks listed there and they may be on there. So check that out as well before commenting that they're missing on this list because they should be on there. But let's jump right into it. Starting off with Trent Dilfer. Trent Dilfer was selected 6th overall in the first round by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is probably the most famous Mel Kiper clip, and it's something we can actually play right here for you.
Well, you know, we got a guy up there. Who in the hell is Mel Kiper in a way? He's got the answers to who you should take and who you shouldn't take. In my knowledge of him, he's never ever put on a jockstrap. He's never been a coach. He's never been a scout. He's never been an administrator. And all of a sudden, he's an expert. We don't have to take anybody that Mel Kiper says we have to take. Mel Kiper has no more credentials to do what he's doing than my neighbor, and my neighbor's a postman, and he doesn't even have season tickets to the NFL.
Now, his career wasn't a total bust. He did win a Super Bowl with the Ravens, but there's a caveat to that. The Los Angeles Times described Dilfer as a game manager quarterback for the Ravens that season. Quote, he wasn't elite, but he didn't make costly mistakes and was supported by a dominant defense. He's also the first quarterback in NFL history to be released after winning a Super Bowl. Think about that. He was with the Ravens 1 year, and they let him go after winning a Super Bowl because they knew he was okay, didn't need to invest that much into him. The reason Dilfer makes this list, though, is because of who went undrafted behind him. That would be Kurt Warner. You are saying you're the de facto judgment of quarterbacks. You know everything what you're talking about, but yet you couldn't see Kurt Warner's potential because he played at a small school, which is the point, is that both the league and Mel have made major misses. Trent got 58 wins and 55 losses, threw for 20,518 yards, 113 touchdowns, and 129 interceptions. Again, not a total bust, but not the player that Mel was making him out to be. Next up, we have Matt Leinart. Matt Leinart was taken 10th overall in the 2006 draft by the Arizona Cardinals. Matt Leinart was dominant at USC. The years with him and Reggie Bush were stuff of college legend. And it wasn't a surprise that a lot of draft analysts had Matt Leinart going pretty high. Not as much as Mel Kiper, though. Mel Kiper had Matt going 2nd overall right behind Reggie Bush. Ultimately, he did fall to the 10th overall pick and went to the Arizona Cardinals. Let's just say the magic at USC was not there with the Cardinals. In Arizona, he was not the same quarterback at USC. It seemed like he lacked a lot of confidence. It looked like a lot of his playmaking ability came from how good USC actually was. Kiper had Leinart as the most pro-ready quarterback in this draft. This is with Vince Young as well as Jay Cutler as the top quarterback prospects in the draft. Granted, Vince Young didn't really turn out that great either, but I think that was more of the coaching situation in Tennessee. That's just me. He had the longest and I would argue the best career out of the big three, which all made sense at USC playing on those big stages. It did not translate to the NFL. Leinart went 8 for 10, threw for 4,065 yards, 15 touchdowns to 21 interceptions. He ended up playing for 3 teams in the Arizona Cardinals, the Houston Texans, and the Oakland Raiders. He ended his career with the Buffalo Bills as a training camp body who did not make the team. Currently, Matt Leinart does cover college football and he does a very good job at it, and I think he's found where he belongs. But just another example of another big miss from Mel here. Next up, we have Dak Prescott, picked in the 4th round with the 135th pick overall to the Dallas Cowboys in the 2016 NFL Draft. Not all of Mel Kiper's misses are players who he evaluates good that turn out bad. He's also evaluated players that are bad that turn out to be really good. Prime example, Dak Prescott. Before the draft, Mel Kiper had Prescott ranked as the 8th or 9th best quarterback in the draft. He had him behind the following: Jared Goff, Carson Wentz, Paxton Lynch, Christian Hackenberg, Jacoby Brissett, Connor Cook. Prescott may not be perfect, but he came out of the box and made Tony Romo retire within 1 year. Dak was thrown into the starting job because Tony Romo got hurt and he needed to start. And it actually turned out pretty well. He won Offensive Rookie of the Year. He has since made multiple Pro Bowls. The Cowboys are now considered playoff contenders almost every year because he's their quarterback. So far, Dak has gone 76-46 in his career, threw for 31,437 yards and 213 touchdowns to 82 interceptions. So again, big miss on this one, Mel. Next up, we have Lamar Jackson, taken in the 2018 draft by the Baltimore Ravens with the 32nd overall pick. Now, to be fair, a lot of analysts had Lamar Jackson moving to wide receiver. Mel later, as it got closer to the draft, was less adamant about that, but for a while he was making that suggestion that if he couldn't play quarterback, they can move him over to wide receiver, which is why a second round draft grade made sense to Mel.
At Lamar Jackson at that point, the big issue is going to be precise passing. Can he put the ball in the tight windows? Can he be the type of quarterback in the NFL you need to be? 57% career completion percentage for Lamar Jackson. Some looking at him because of his athleticism as a wide receiver. That could be something like Terrell Pryor when he starts out at quarterback and becomes a wideout. But initially, I think the team addressed him maybe second round. We'll look at him as a developmental quarterback.
What do you think, Mel? Where would you draft him?
I would draft him in the second round because I think at that point, the risk reward is there. If he doesn't make it a quarterback, you have a great fallback. But he has to buy in. And that's the thing I think that
I don't know that he's going to buy in.
As a receiver.
Right.
This is like a second round ago as a receiver talent that might be
a second round quarterback.
A second round quarterback.
Who, if he doesn't get it done as a quarterback, moves to wide receiver. But he's got to be all in on the wide receiver transition. If he's not, then that may alter how you feel about taking him.
He thought Lamar was going to be a developmental project, needed time, everything like that. Yeah, let's just say Lamar is pretty good at the game of football. Lamar Jackson ended up sitting about half his rookie season, starting in week 11 for an injured Joe Flacco, and never looked back. He's a two-time NFL MVP, meaning the most valuable player in the league twice. 3-team first All-Pro, 4 Pro Bowl appearances, and was the NFL passing touchdowns leader in 2019. So far in his career, he has 70 wins to 24 losses. He has thrown for 20,059 yards, has 166 touchdowns to 49 interceptions. For rushing, he has 1,014 attempts for 6,173 yards and 33 touchdowns. Yeah, safe to say Lamar Jackson is doing very well and did not need to switch to wide receiver. Johnny Manziel, quarterback, Texas A&M, taken with the 22nd overall pick in the 2014 draft to the Cleveland Browns. This is a very memorable draft for me. Mel Kiper once had Johnny Manziel going to the Texans first overall in that draft. We instead took Clowney, so it is what it is, but we didn't take Manziel, thank God. On the field and asserting that he was made for the current NFL.
I'm going to go with Johnny Manziel, and I'm going to say Johnny Manziel for this reason. When you talk to people in the league, I get a consensus on Manziel that I don't get with Bortles or Bridgewater. A consensus that Manziel at worst is going 5. He's going in the top 5 somewhere. And this is a guy, if teams are thinking about him at 5 or 7, hey, what's wrong with number 1? It's not like you're paying Stafford or Bradford money. Johnny Manziel is a magician on the field. If he eats, sleeps, and drinks football 365 days a year, to me, he can be a very good to great player in the NFL. And today's NFL kind of suits his skill set very effectively and very well.
Kiper acknowledged concerns about Manziel's size and off-field behavior, but believed his on-field talent warranted a high draft selection. He emphasized Manziel's potential to thrive in the evolving NFL landscape that favored mobile and dynamic quarterbacks. Manziel would slide in this draft, though. He was not taken in the first 21 picks. He would go 22nd overall to the Cleveland Browns, but his career was very short-lived. He had inconsistency issues as well as off-the-field issues. Shocking. Manziel would get 2 wins and 6 losses, throw for 1,675 yards, 7 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions. He would play in the league with the Browns from 2014 to 2015, then go up to Canada and play for Hamilton as well as Montreal in 2018. Then he would try the AAF with the Memphis Express and then the Fan Control Football League for 2 years. Manziel has now become a warning for most NFL franchises to look into players' backgrounds more thoroughly. It's also a lesson on why they don't take risks on certain guys. Manziel has made documentaries talking about his time in college and his downfall, which it sounds like he has matured, but it came a little too late for him. Easy to say Mel missed on Johnny as well. Blaine Gabbert, quarterback out of Mizzou, drafted by the Jacksonville Jaguars 10th overall in the 2011 draft. Mel was also high on Blaine Gabbert leading up to the 2011 draft. In his mock drafts, he had Gabbert as a potential number 1 overall pick, highlighting his strong arm, prototypical size for an NFL quarterback, quick release, mobility, and NFL readiness. Kiper's evaluation emphasized Gabbert's physical tools and potential upside. He believed that Gabbert's attributes made him a top-tier quarterback prospect in the NFL draft. He would end up falling 10th overall to the Jacksonville Jaguars and would become the starting quarterback in week 3. Yeah, he was off the Jaguars by the end of the 2013 season. Blaine Gabbert would end up being a journeyman quarterback, playing for the Jacksonville Jaguars, San Francisco 49ers, Arizona Cardinals, Tennessee Titans, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the Kansas City Chiefs. He did end up winning the Super Bowl with both the Buccaneers and the Chiefs, but as Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes' backup. What an interesting career that'd actually be. Holy shit. You got to sit in the room with Mahomes and Brady. That's pretty bad. I digress. In hindsight, Gabbert is one of Kiper's biggest misses and one of the ones people like to bring up a lot. In Blaine's career, he got 14 wins, 35 losses, threw for 9,487 yards, 51 touchdowns, and 50 interceptions. But he is a 2-time Super Bowl champ, so gotta tip my hat to him. Next up, we have Josh Rosen, quarterback out of UCLA, selected in the first round, 10th overall pick in the 2018 draft to the Arizona Cardinals. Josh Rosen, that is a name that brings back some memories.
There were 9 mistakes made ahead of me, and I'll make sure over in the next decade or so that they'll know they made the mistakes.
Josh Rosen at UCLA was very good. Over 3 seasons, he played 30 games for 9,341 yards, 59 touchdowns, and 26 interceptions. He ranks among UCLA's all-time leaders in passing yards and touchdowns. In his early draft evaluations, Mel had him as the 3rd best quarterback prospect in the draft class, only behind Sam Darnold and Josh Allen. He highlighted Rosen as the most polished and pro-ready quarterback in the draft, particularly emphasizing his accuracy and mechanics. In initial mock drafts, Kiper projected Rosen to be selected by a team like the New York Giants at number 2 or the New York Jets at number 3. However, as the draft process went on at the Combine, teams started to question Rosen as a prospect. This led Mel to drop him down out of the top 10.
The Arizona Cardinals select Josh Rosen.
Let's just say the Arizona Cardinals regret that pick. I personally cannot remember a time in my life watching football where a quarterback taken in the first round does not even make it past a year with his team. The Cardinals traded him to the Miami Dolphins within a year. That's how bad he was. After the Dolphins, he would go to the Buccaneers for an offseason but not make the team, then jump over to the 49ers, following the Falcons, then the Browns and Vikings. Both teams he was a training camp body, so he never really made the team. Rosen would win 3 games and lose 13, throw for 2,864 yards, 12 touchdowns, and 21 interceptions. And this was Mel's most pro-ready quarterback of this draft class. Again, I will give him that he did change his mind, but that was only because teams were talking. They were saying that they don't trust his, passion for football. I remember one thing, like, he was rich, so they were questioning because rich kids don't care about playing football because they get hurt. Some crazy shit like that. But because of that talk, Mel dropped him down. It was very much a Shedeur Sanders situation where he was falling in the draft due to his poor draft meetings. Brady Quinn, quarterback out of Notre Dame, taken in the first round with the 22nd pick overall to the Cleveland Browns. What is it with the Browns and Cardinals picking at 10 and 22? Cardinals, if you're picking a quarterback at 10, steer away from it. Same with the Browns. If you're picking a quarterback at 22, steer away from it. That is a trend I'm noticing in these. Brady Quinn was considered a top quarterback coming out of Notre Dame. Kiper consistently ranked him as one of the top quarterbacks. It was him and Jamarcus Russell were like 1-2 according to Kiper, highlighting Quinn's strong arm, leadership qualities, and experience in a pro-style offense at Notre Dame. Kiper expressed that Quinn was a more polished prospect compared to others like Jamarcus Russell, who was often considered the top quarterback in the draft. Kiper was vocal about teams needing to prioritize selecting a quarterback like Quinn, emphasizing the importance of securing a franchise signal caller. Mel even ripped the Lions because they didn't take Brady Quinn. Who did they take, you may ask? I don't know, you may have heard of him.
With the 2nd pick in the 2007 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions take wide receiver Calvin Johnson, Georgia Tech.
Question you have to ask yourself here, if you're a Detroit Lion fan or anybody listening out there, you're talking about a guy and watching that, why not a quarterback? Why not Brady Quinn here? When this whole thing unfolded, we knew Oakland was picking 1 and we knew Detroit was picking 2. I said, oh, Russell's perfect for Oakland and Brady Quinn's perfect for the Detroit Lions, and Mike Martz, tough, smart kid. Mike Martz is going to love this guy. And you look at Calvin Johnson instead of Brady Quinn.
That's right. Mel Kiper criticized the Detroit Lions for taking Calvin Johnson over Brady Quinn. I think the Lions are pretty happy with their decision not to take Brady Quinn. I don't know about you guys, but I think that opinion is pretty solidified. Brady would have a struggling career. He would win 4 games and lose 16, throw for 3,043 yards, 12 touchdowns, and 17 interceptions. He would play for the Browns from 2007 to 2009, then jump over to the Broncos, followed by the Chiefs, was in training camp with the Seahawks in 2013, then played for the Jets and Rams, then was a camp body for the Miami Dolphins, and then kind of fell out of the league altogether. He is now a college sports analyst for football, and I think he, again, has made a great fit. Him and Matt Leinart are doing what they should be doing and doing it great. But as a quarterback, he did not meet the expectations that Mel laid out for him. And number one, we all knew it was coming. Tom Brady, quarterback out of Michigan, picked in the 6th round with the 199th pick overall in the 2000 NFL draft. Everybody got Tom Brady wrong. I'm aware of this, but this is one of those ones where it's, if you're going to criticize people not knowing how to evaluate the quarterback, how do you miss the greatest one of all time? Tom Brady came out of Michigan in 2000, and granted, his college career was a little odd. At the time at Michigan, Tom Brady was splitting reps with Drew Henson for the starting quarterback job. This led a lot of people to misevaluate Tom Brady. Kiper had him as the 10th best quarterback in the draft at the time and gave him about a 5th round grade. In his original scouting report, Kiper questioned Tom Brady's athleticism and arm strength, also noting that his lack of mobility may be an issue in the NFL. The Patriots would end up taking Tom Brady with the 199th pick overall, and it worked out very well for them. Tom Brady would win 251 games against 82 losses, throw for 89,214 yards, 649 touchdowns to 212 interceptions. That's just the regular season. In the postseason, he went 35 for 13, throwing for 13,400 yards, 88 touchdowns to 40 interceptions. And he's one of the few quarterbacks that we can actually do this for too. In his 10 Super Bowl appearances, he went 7-3, throwing for 3,039 yards, 21 touchdowns to 6 interceptions. The man has won 7 Super Bowl titles, 5 Super Bowl MVPs, 3 NFL Most Valuable Player, 2 NFL Offensive Player of the Year, NFL Comeback Player of the Year in 2009, 3-time First Team All-Pro, 3-time Second Team All-Pro, 15 Pro Bowls, 5-time NFL Passing Touchdowns Leader, 4-time NFL Passing Yards Leader, and that's just to name a few. The man is the greatest quarterback to have ever played in the league, and Mel Kiper didn't see it, along with any of the scouts, draft analysts, anybody. Nobody saw it coming. So it's why I have the issue when you say they can't evaluate quarterback talent. You obviously can't evaluate quarterback talent either. And that's our list so far. Is there any player I missed? Is there anyone that you're thinking of where it's like, oh my God, Justin, how did you miss that one? Let me know down in the comments down below. Make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so already. And like I said, I want to make this a regular thing. So again, leave some comments down if you disagree with me or something I missed, something to that degree. I want to make this a regular thing. I like to be wrong. You know, I like to be proven wrong. I like to have those discussions. So bring it on. Again, don't be a dick about it. I understand I'm an idiot. I understand those types of things, but I want to have engaging conversation. So please feel free to leave those comments down below. Share these videos with your friends. And again, thank you every single one of you who's already subscribed. I'm hoping to grow this channel more, put more into it, give back to you guys in some way in the future. So thank you so much for subscribing. I really appreciate it. And until the next one, have a good one.